Love a Foodie iced tea. 4 clean drinking iced tea flavors. Lemon lovers, passion fruit lovers, raspberry lovers, and blood orange lovers iced tea. Eat clean, be well and stay well with our clean eating spice blends at Love a Foodie.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Love a Foodie Link Live. Today is July 11th, Monday, and we always like to start our shows on Monday because it's a great Monday motivation. Gets people excited for the week. And today I couldn't be more happy to have Cliff and Kim Prisball from Cool Canine Treats. And as many of you know, I lost little Lucy a year ago in May, and I waited a whole year, and I got feisty Daisy May. And she sure is a feisty little puppy. And Kim was nice enough to send me packages for little Daisy to taste. And I have to tell you, Daisy loves all flavors, all 4 flavors. I think her favorite, though, is the peanut butter and banana. But she loves them all. And so I want to hear your story, Cliff and Kim, how you got started. I know I did some background work, but for all of our viewers and our listeners, one of the things that I really liked about your story is that as my stories and as a love of foodie, it always comes from me. It comes from my heart, whatever I do, and that's how you created your brand.
Right. Well,
so tell us.
Thank you for having us, Michelle.
Yes, first of all,
we're very excited about being here.
Yeah,
thank you.
And Cliff is going to tell you about our story.
Well, it was a while ago, and it's probably around November in 2012. There were some issues with the dogs dying from treats that were coming in from off our shores. And we looked at that and we said, well, this is not a really good thing. And we love our pets. So we said, why don't we at least start something in our kitchen and see what we can do about making a nutritious and healthy pet treat. Okay. So that's when we started in our kitchen in Shell Knob, Missouri, which is in beautiful Table Rock Lake. And we are pet parents and have been for
41 years.
Yeah, a long time, ever since the kids were little, what have you. So we've rescued dogs and cats and other animals along the way, but we founded the business basically so that the pets could have first of all, a safe treat that is actually healthy and affordable. And we believe that smaller batches, handmade type treats would make our ability to fulfill this need capable or possible, and that's what we did. And since then, we have grown consistently year over year. We're still a very small brand, if you will, but that was the beginning of our story. Kim, anything else you want to add on to that?
Well, we started making them for our pets. Our dog at the time that we still have. And the neighbor dogs would come to the door. Since we live in a rural area, our neighbor dogs go back and forth. And we'd give them treats. And so they'd start coming and literally drooling at the door for our treats. So it wasn't long before some local businesses started asking us to sell them. And so we did. And then it just kept growing and growing. And now, maybe it'll keep growing, but it is growing, but we haven't really pushed it to get big. We're an artisan treat. So go ahead, Cliff.
Well, no, that was, I think you've summed it up perfectly there. And we had some people actually come to us and talk to us about our treats. And I think we started, I think you had the date down here somewhere around the 2nd of November in 2012, where we had our first placement within a retail store, and it just started to grow from there.
And then when did you create the website?
Ooh.
One year we did go to Super Zoo, and our marketing person, she wanted us to have a website and business cards. We were just getting started then. So she created that for us. We didn't even ask her to. She just did it. And she did a wonderful job. And we do sell quite a few treats online via that website. So she, like I said, she's a marketing person. She did the website. She's not really a website person.
So we started that in what, about 13, 14, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when it started. Yes.
And so online, are you on Amazon?
We're not on Amazon.
Do you want to be on Amazon?
We could be, but as of right now, we're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not, we don't want to be.
The
but-
pet treat category on Amazon is incredibly competitive, and it becomes, we like to try and keep our price point reasonable. And with some of the add-ons and a few of the things that we found there, it was a little more difficult. I'm sure we could at some time, but at this point, it just doesn't fit into our scheme at this point.
Right. And I've been to Super Zoo, and I've been to what's it called? The one in Orlando, the big one. The Super Zoo, and what's the other
I
one?
know what you
Oh, yeah, that's global.
global.
Global. Because I used to
Yes.
be in the pet industry for a very brief time before I started my own company. There's a little bit of a history there. So I'll also being a pet lover. And I know, going to both of those shows, the people that are in the pet category, in the pet industry, especially the boutiques, they really frown upon you being with the big box grocers. They want these niche kind of homemade products in their in their stores, because they can't compete price wise with Amazon or Walmart or Target.com. So I understand that you staying within that category or that pet industry, the boutique industry. So when you started, how did you come up with the name Cool Canine in your little dog icon? This is a little
That's
pop art. Yeah.
That's Maxwell. Maxwell, because he has maximum wellness from eating Cool Canine dog treats. He's our brand ambassador, and he's on every package and on our website, and he can do all these fun things, jet skiing, everything he does, because he eats these healthy, all natural dog treats. And we were very involved in the local Chamber of Commerce. And one year, their annual dinner, they said, and we were sponsoring a table, and they said, okay, all the tables, all the businesses should have a theme that starts with a C. So we're like, oh, and somehow it was just Cool Canine. And we liked that. And so we were Love Bites, but we couldn't get it registered, trademark registered. So we moved over to Cool Canine, and then we finally, after several attempts, found an illustrator, and she's very good. And we just kind of said, okay, we want this brand ambassador, our dog, and we want him to have long floppy ears that can blow in the wind, and we want him to be able to do all these things. And she just calls herself the god of Maxwell, because she came up with Maxwell, and she does all of our labels. So that's how we came up with Cool Canine.
Nice. Well, I certainly can relate, because I had Dog Lovers Spice that I created for little Lucy, and she's on the tin, she's on the mascot, and now I have Daisy, and there'll be exciting things coming down the road for Daisy too.
Excellent.
So I totally understand. So you have 4 flavors. Did you start with 4 flavors, or did you start with one and expand into the other flavors?
We started with one, actually. That was our peanut butter oatmeal.
Okay.
So realistically, the base recipe is the same. Okay. And then I think the second one we went to was
Debbie wanted the banana and the pumpkin.
Our
private label person. Our first private label person. So we developed the using, like Cliff said, the base recipe, the banana and the pumpkin flavor.
So we went with that, and we just kind of modified things a little bit, and especially with the pumpkin, we added cinnamon. Now, in looking at this, some of the things too, the peanut butter is really good, and it's loaded with antioxidants, proteins, healthy fats, proper vitamins, that sort of thing. So the base was really good. I know there was a kind of a move away from um, grain at one time, but I think she went up grain at one time, but we kind of kept with that and kept the grain and the healthy grains within that.
Because the dogs need those for the digestion.
They do. And then when we added pumpkin, we found out that that is another one that is full of fiber and beta carotene, and then in the body it converts to vitamin A, which is also good. It benefits digestive, digestive and urinary systems. So we found all those things that were just outstanding. The whole grain was good because we use whole grain and rolled oats as well. And then we also put, well, with the bananas too. What was the banana thing? Oh, they were full of potassium and magnesium too, which was outstanding. So did we lose you for a while, or did you?
My computer decided to restart. Why, I don't know, but we're back. So you kept talking. That's great.
Okay, I did. I kept talking. Okay. So then we were talking about the bananas, and that's full of the magnesium, potassium, B complex, which again is good for the dogs. And then we use sorghum molasses in there. That's the only thing that we do. There's a little bit of a sweetener in there, but sorghum is a superfood. It's really, really good. And one of the nice things about sorghum too is it requires a far less water than say corn or some certain other grains. So we've used that for a long time. And again, it's got selenium, chromium, and vitamin B6, I believe, as well. So, we just kind of moved in that direction. But then we just wanted to be a little playful. And then what we did after that is we created a cheese treat. Okay. And we kind of consider that one yes, the Say cheese. Okay.
Yeah.
We consider that our meatloaf. That's the one that because it's actually shredded cheddar cheese and whole wheat flour and a few other little things, and they're actually really good. I mean, I a lot of people eat these, too, because there's nothing bad in there. In our the way we manufacture these, there is nothing that you cannot pronounce. There's no preservatives whatsoever, but they still have a shelf life of a year. So that's how
people can actually eat these. You're saying, so when you say
people actually do eat them.
Okay. So the crude protein, where does that come from in all these? Is it what is that what do you add to make it?
I would assume that most of the protein comes from the peanut butter. Right. And the peanut butter too, that we buy that. It is not, it's just ground peanuts. It's the kind that separates.
And have xylitol in it.
There's nothing, has nothing, just ground peanuts. That's all it is. And everything else is pure. So that's where most of that comes from.
Okay. Yeah, because part of Love of Foodie, the premise of Love of Foodie is to eat clean and drink clean. Yes. And so I really like the fact that your product is clean eating for pets. Mm-hmm. It's all natural. I mean, that's why I wanted you guys to be on my show. I won't endorse or have anyone on my show in any category that doesn't align with who Love a Foodie is. So I love what you're doing. I might have already asked you this. What is your best-selling flavor?
It depends on the time of year, but I would say in the fall, pumpkin, hands down.
Absolutely.
And we also have a Christmas label that people love. I didn't bring it down here.
No, and we make that out of it's the same pumpkin treat that goes in the Christmas label, and that sells. We didn't know how well that would do, but it did phenomenal. People bought it for their pets, for gifts, that sort of thing. Go ahead.
And we do sell pumpkin probably more than anything else of the whole year, but in the fall it just goes
right.
It goes. So with your Christmas time, is it the pumpkin flavor just with a Christmas logo, or
no? We sell both. But see, if you think about this, when people it becomes,
I'll run up and get the label.
Okay, but as it becomes fall, okay, everybody starts to think about what pumpkin pie, turkey, this sort of thing. So for some reason, the pumpkin then becomes relatable to the holiday season, and that's when it sells a lot more. Also, if you open one of our bags of pumpkin and you smell that, the cinnamon is outstanding. So if we're doing a demo or something like that, we always have the people do the sniff test. So I open up the bag.
And a dog or cat, the first thing they do, you probably know this, before they will eat a treat or their food, the first thing they do is they smell it. If it
Of course.
doesn't smell good, they won't eat it. So whenever
Right.
you put anything in front of a dog or cat, the first they smell.
Right.
So in fact, in my spice blend, cinnamon, in my dog spice blend, cinnamon is an ingredient in
Right.
that spice, and that's one of the reasons that the dogs will eat their food with the dog lovers spice on it, because they can smell the cinnamon.
Exactly. So that's one of the reasons that
I want
that
to eat
it sells well. Yeah, they're good, but and then the banana as well. But see, so we use fresh pumpkin, canned pumpkins, just pumpkin, nothing else. And then for banana, we buy fresh bananas, peel them, weigh them, make sure that and blend it all in there. So it works out. It works out quite well. Okay, Kim's coming down with a few things
I
here.
wanted to show what we're going to get in.
Okay,
Now-
so-
You guys, this is 8 ounces per bag. How many pieces are in it, in approximately each bag?
I think it's about 23.
no, ma'am, no, about 36.
I have it on
Somewhere
the
around-
website.
Somewhere, I think it's more than 23, Kim, because it's at least 30. And again, sometimes that varies.
Let me
The
see.
cheese ones they're just not as dense. They're a little lighter. The banana ones are a little more dense. Okay, even though they come out of the same mold and whatever, if you look at the cheese, they're a little flatter. They don't stand up as well because I don't think the oats aren't in there.
I
Okay,
think it is about
Right.
30.
it's
32.
32, something like that. I think
Okay.
is in.
Would you like to see the Christmas label?
I would.
This is how our labels come. And this is the Christmas label.
Oh, sweet. Oh, I like that. Now, is that for all the flavors?
No,
Just-
we just do a
The pumpkin.
pumpkin, and it says holiday cinnamon spice edition. If you see it at the top,
And that is
Nice.
Maxwell and Molly.
Molly, that's the daughter. So
And then we do some other, we have fun with these labels. This is one of our Branson, Missouri labels.
see Elvis.
Cute, very cute.
So we
This
play
is
with
the
some of those
summer-
things too.
It's Cliff's favorite.
Then one of the other things we had someone who sells them in Florida, and so here's our island style. So it's more of a Jimmy Buffett type thing, but they're all
Nice.
the same product. We just kind of changed it up a little bit. That was it, just to have some fun.
Nice. So, how many days a week are you in production?
Depends. Okay, it can be 3 or 4, depending upon need. Generally speaking, 2, a Saturday and a Sunday. But that is if I squeeze things into 2, it's very intense because I start early and end late. I just want to get things done. So it just depends. Now that's just making the treats, packaging, shipping, everything else. It's pretty much
Still, it's 1 or 2 days,
Yeah.
2 days a week.
on top of that. So it's a full week's work on a
And
consistent basis. I
During
would say
holiday season, it's more than that.
far more. Yes, far more.
And is your facility meet all the requirements from the FDA and the OSHA and all? I mean, because there's a lot of requirements that
Sure.
need to be filled when you have
Yeah.
production of any kind of food.
Well, I'll tell you this maybe help. We are in 3 stores, 3 locations with Whole Foods. In order to be in Whole Foods, we had to pass some stringent tests, and
Mhm.
we've passed those. We're also regulated by we have people from the Missouri Department of Agriculture come here once or twice a year. They check everything out. We have to give them the treats. They weigh them. They do all this other stuff, and then make sure that we're within our tolerances, which we've never failed. And then it's also regulated. And I'll let you take care of this from the AFCO perspective, how that works.
Yeah,
Kim.
AFCO was the regulating body before a long time ago. When I don't know how long ago, but they were the regulating body. They're not really affiliated with departments of agriculture, but they carry a heavy weight. Like you have to get all of your labels approved through AFCO for every state. You have to have certain, they have all these regulations. So, and you have to be licensed in every state in which you sell. So then but that you have to get the labeling, you have to get done through AFCO, and then the Department of Agriculture, like Cliff said, they come and they talk to you and look at your facility, and they take your treats, and then they go and they analyze them and make sure that your labels are correct. And then yes, we did have to file with the FDA. Can't remember if they ever actually came
Yeah,
out.
and then we also had to have we had to take a course where we had people from the some kind of Missouri Department of something.
Missouri
or
Enterprise.
They came out and we had to take a course, and we've got manuals and that sort of thing. So yeah, when we started out, we didn't know it was that involved, but it is, and
Yeah.
taxation, other things like that has to be paid. And again, when she said licensing, with each state, there's fees that may or may not go along with them. Some are steep, some are not so steep.
Right. And of course, insurance, because if something happens, a dog gets sick with one of your treats, somebody's going to go back and sue you,
That's
and
correct.
you're covered for that. So
Yes.
there's a lot involved.
Mhm.
So you've been doing this you started in 2012. You've been at it for a few years.
10 years.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Do you want to continue to do this?
Wow, what a question. I don't know. It's one of these things that sometimes it crosses your mind. I don't know, but it's kind of in me now. I mean, I really I enjoy especially the manufacturing aspect of this, making sure that everything is done, it's done correctly, the temperatures are right, all those things are done. And it's a business, but it's also kind of a hobby for myself as well. I can't speak for Kim. I'll let her take over, but I kind of enjoy doing that. Sometimes it gets a little tough sourcing proper product, which is more of Kim's job,
Ingredients.
and trying to keep the costs down. But yeah, I enjoy doing it. As we haven't pressed things that much that at this point. But what I've always said is if we get something that'll bring us to our knees, and then I would expand. I mean, for right now, I can kind of keep it under control. But if it ever got to that breaking point, that's when you really have to decide: are you going to reinvest, or what are you going to do?
Or are you going to get investors? We've talked about that, and we have the ability probably to do that. So, but right now, we haven't had the need to do it yet.
Yeah, at this point.
So
it's a long about way. I don't know if that's an answer, but we're just kind of, it's a consideration.
Yeah, it's you're going with the flow, and if an opportunity presents itself that would behoove you to expand, you would consider it, and you would consider growth, is what you're saying.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Are you both retired from? Is this your full-time job?
No,
I have a full-time job too.
Oh, you do?
I work. We get up. Depends on the load. I'll get up early in the morning and work, and then do my job, and then work at night. It's crazy, then work on the weekends and what have you. But
we both work from home.
Like I always said, it keeps me out of the bars, So I mean, that's.
And I have another business, a consulting business that I'm semi-retired from. But I do a lot of volunteer work as well. But we're definitely what you would categorize as workaholics.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
we like to keep busy.
It's fun too, I mean, I kind of enjoy the challenge with that too, and then managing, because my job is not a physical job. It's in the market research area, so I do an awful lot of things on the PC. But it's mentally taxing sometimes. But then going out and actually doing things, gets the blood pumping, doing some physical stuff. So it's a balance as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Are your children or anyone else involved in the company, or is it just the two of you that are doing the fulfillment, the cooking, the baking?
No, we have a couple of people that will come in and help us sometimes when we need it.
Okay.
But no, our children are adults. They all have their own lives.
And they don't live near us either.
No,
so
they don't live.
Yeah, when our son graduated, the last son graduated from college, when he came home, we were gone. So.
We were at the lake. And he has his own company.
So
he's an entrepreneur.
We're all kind of independent that way.
Yes. Yeah. What about other flavors? Do you have ideas for other? Like I as I'm sitting here, I keep thinking of blueberry. How about like could you do like a blueberry oatmeal? Because blueberries are good for dogs.
Yes, we could do that.
Yes, we could.
Actually, we had 4 gluten-free flavors, and we had a blueberry, an apple, parsley, which that one didn't go over very well. But it had a really cute label. That
Yeah,
was
but
my
it
favorite
didn't
label.
work.
And what was the other one? I don't
I don't
Oh, it
remember.
was a pumpkin too.
Yeah.
They had really adorable labels. And they actually were selling, but we just decided to I don't know why.
Well, no, I had a lot to do with that. They're very gluten-free is difficult to make because it doesn't. You've got to get a binding agent to go along with that, and I always forget what we were using, but I had to almost mix it with the water to make a gelatin. But it was what is it?
I can't remember.
It's a seed. It's a seed that was crushed. It's a natural seed, but it was difficult, and the sales weren't there. And there were too many SKUs. People, and you know this if you were in the pet industry or in grocery at all. If you might have 8 SKUs, or we've got 4 now, it's easier to get 4 on the shelf than 8. And they're making you pick and choose and this and that, and it just got a little bit difficult. So we said that's okay, and it hasn't hurt anything at all.
We are thinking of doing a brew biscuit.
Yeah, with spent grain.
We've got a partner for that, and so I'm going to be experimenting with recipes here in the near future. But we have to then see. It'll be a while because you have to make sure they're stable and shelf stable and all.
Sure, sure. Well, any new flavors you come out with, Daisy, I'm sure would love to taste them.
Okay, well, we can assure
but
that.
I think blueberry is a good choice. I think that was our best gluten-free seller. We still have people ask for it.
Right. And we just, like I said, we've been very busy. So sometimes when, you're running along like that, you're not worried about you're not thinking about, line extension. But thank you for reminding us again. We'll look back at that.
Right. So let's talk cost a little bit. What are these going to cost me if I order them online on your website? And what are they going to cost me if they're in a retail store? Because online, do you have the cost of shipping built in?
Yes. No, I'm sorry. Online, they're $7.99 a bag, but we seldom sell one bag. We have them as a 3-pack, 4-pack, 7-pack, and a 12-pack, which is a case. The 3-pack and the 4-pack, it's $2.99 to ship. But the 7-pack,
only $2.99 to ship across the country.
Yes, and the 7-pack and the case are free shipping if you buy them online.
Okay. So at your stores, do you have distribution in Minnesota in any retail stores? Like Chuck and Don's?
No.
Have you ever presented to Chuck and Don's?
No. Chuck and Don? No.
Chuck and Don's, yeah. It's an all natural, good kind of holistic.
Okay.
Small. Well, I don't know. They've got about 130 stores.
No, that's not small.
Yeah, they might be interested. That's who I see as a potential customer.
Okay.
They're based in Minnesota. So in your neighborhood or your retail stores around you, what is one bag going to sell for?
$7.99.
$7.99
a bag, which is, since we started, we've not raised the prices, either wholesale or retail. And
so what is the cost? Because I know a retailer pet category, the margins are higher than, say, what kind of margins are they doubling it like a pet store? Like if I own Michelle's Pet Store, am I buying this for $3.50 or $4, selling it for $8?
$3.75, something like that.
Okay, so they're doubling it. They're making
it's a 50%. Depending on how some people say 100, just depends on how you figure it. But yeah, there's a good margin in there, and the turns are there because we sell them in case lots, and 12 on the shelf. It goes pretty quick. And I will say this too: once we get people using our treats, I think they become very brand loyal, and we have really good customers. We have individuals, 2 or 3 different ones that order them by the case from us.
Mhm.
And you know, they don't. The one lady who was just here, who lives locally, she's got how many dogs?
2
Two
dogs,
dogs. She buys a case at a time,
over a case every month
every month.
for her
Mhm.
2 dogs.
So you know, I
And
don't
then
know.
our wholesale, we develop relationships. Most of the time, we have a relationship. Like our biggest customer is in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. She private labels. She's been with us. We've been with her, and she's been with us since we started. She started her shop. So every month she orders, and we have lunch together, and we've become very good friends. And our person in Branson, we're friends with him, and it's it's just so easy to have friends in this industry. The people are wonderful.
They are.
But it's also very competitive,
Right.
and that's why we haven't raised our prices, because you have to keep track of what your competitors are selling wholesale and retail. Now they could raise the retail price, and some of our retailers do sell them for more. In their market area, they're able to get more money for them. So,
But most are $7.99.
we're very reasonable.
Right.
Very reasonable.
Nice.
We're right in the middle of the market.
Right. And you know, I go to pet stores, and when Lucy, my dog that passed away, she was very finicky. As a dog, as you know, gets older, they start
Yeah.
eating and they get finicky. And my dining room table literally had every pet treat, every pet food, anything that I could buy, I bought. And you know, when a dog likes a treat, and Daisy just had a Meet Daisy party, and she got some treats from people, and they were nice treats, but she didn't like them all. And so I understand. My point is, I understand that when your beloved dog, I call child, loves
Yes.
a pet, and Daisy has her favorite treats. And the ones that she doesn't like, I give to my mom, who has dogs in her neighborhood, and I say, "Here's some more treats for your dogs."
Excellent.
Neighborhood, because so I understand how your customers would buy a case at a time. If their pet loves your treats, why not? You know,
Mhm.
Right.
why keep trying to find new treats that they may or may not like, because the treats are expensive across the board. So, excuse me.
And we do have discounted prices for the more, like the 3-pack, the 7. They're all discounted, so it wouldn't actually come up to $7.99 a bag.
Right.
Only if you buy them individually.
Are you guys on Fair or Maple? Have you heard about that?
Yes, no, we're not on Fair. We've been invited to be on Fair, but again, I know, and maybe this isn't a good business move. I'm not really sure, because you just don't know. But I didn't do Fair because I would have to raise my prices because of their fees. And also, if you bring your customers to them, you still have to pay those fees.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe not after the first order, but so I chose not to go
Yeah.
with Fair. But
Yeah.
I think I'm on a lot of industry emails and strings, and a lot of the people do use Fair, and they are very happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying anything
So
negative about it.
no. It's just another vehicle, but they take 25%, and then
Yeah.
it's just I guess it's exposure in areas and markets that maybe you wouldn't get in,
Correct.
but it's not going to make you a ton of money.
Well, see, that's the
Um,
thing. There's a dichotomy there. Yeah, you get exposure, you might sell more, but you may not be making any more money. If and it's only after the fact that it's like going to a trade show. Someone says, "How was it?" I met a lot of people. Doesn't mean it was successful. You don't know until 6 months later. So it's a trade off. You got to take a chance sometimes.
And we
Absolutely.
have a pretty good client base for what we're doing now.
So
So I just didn't feel like it was needed for us at the time.
So will you both attend Super Zoo in Vegas in
We
August
both
or
went
September?
there. Yeah.
we did once. That was it. And that was a long time ago. We don't know if again, it's one of those things that we haven't pressed that, because again, it's almost a fear of succeeding. If you go in there and it's really good, it's like, ooh, now what? So it's
Well,
been
the other thing is we have invested our own money, and in order to do some of these higher level things, if you want to go up a level, you really have to get an investor because
100% agree. Yeah,
okay.
and we just haven't done that. We've thought about it, we've kicked it around, but it's just that's just basically what you have to do if you want to do these things.
right.
Get bigger.
Yeah, I totally am in that same boat, so I totally understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I try to keep everything within a certain time frame. Where is the best place that people can go buy your product if they're watching right now? Is it your website?
I think so.
Yeah.
Do you want to call that out?
You want, pardon?
Do you want to spell that out for everybody?
Yes, www.coolcanine.com. CoolCanineDogTreats.com.
No spaces, no capitals, just.
And that will also get you to our retail locations. So if you go there and there's a retail location near you, then you'll find out about it, or you can buy them online. And we'd love to have anybody as a new customer.
And you can.
And I have to say, these are really good. And I sent Kim last Sunday. I showed you a picture. I did a little video of Lucy eating, and I would have shared it, but the video wasn't very good of me doing it. And she's like, just trying to attack me at the same time, trying to hold the phone. And
we loved your little Daisy video.
Yes,
that you
when it was talking, I thought that was outstanding. That was cool.
Yeah. We did that last night because I knew I just got that. That's how I'm going to introduce you guys today, and you'll see more of Talking Daisy, and Daisy is going to be a brand coming soon. So
Cool.
Yes, excited about that. So thank you both for being on my show. Like I said, everybody, Daisy approved. Cool Canine Treats. Get them today. Order them. I think the pricing is very reasonable. When they order both, what is the turnaround? So if I place an order today, how soon will I get it?
Well, we'll get them ready to ship either the same day, but usually the next day. And then we ship them UPS or USPS, depending on the amount of the order. And they are supposed to get them within 2 days.
We make them available.
That's what it's supposed to happen. If it doesn't happen, it's because of the freight.
We're at the mercy of the shipper at that point.
But I mean,
we turn ours quickly.
We haven't had any complaints about it, so I'm assuming people do get them within 2, maybe 3 days.
So you have inventory in your warehouse on hand of all flavors.
Yes,
ready.
A small inventory.
Right. Because we like to try and keep them fresh. That's the whole thing.
Yep. And does it say on the bags like when it says lot 2? So does that mean it was made on 5/22/23?
Yep.
Yes.
Or is that when it should? That's when it should be pulled.
That's when it was made on the 20, and 22. So then that's that same date, 23.
It's a year. Okay.
But that's when it was made, right?
Got it.
But we hope people don't keep them a year.
No. But I like that you have that on here.
Oh yeah. What that lends to credibility,
You have to have that.
Right. It makes it right.
Right. No, my dog, I don't know. Daisy inhales her treats, her food. It's like you'd think she loves to eat. I guess she's a level footy dog.
We love her. We love dogs like that.
Yes.
I think she would love. I know. I think she'd love your little dog, your little mascot. Well, it's been my pleasure to have you both. I'm going to end the show by thanking you and putting up a little jingle. And everybody who's watching, if you have a furry friend, a furry dog, or know somebody who has a dog, go ahead and order these. They're great. They're all natural. They're tasty. They're good. They have good ingredients. They're 100% pure. I wouldn't endorse it. Daisy wouldn't endorse it unless we believed in it. And thank you.
Thank you.
So everybody have a great week, and we'll be back next Monday with another fun show. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.